What's up, YouTube? This is 2 Raw 4 TV. Alright, so before I get into this video, I want to give a shout out to a few subscribers, a couple of subscribers for showing love to the channel. Much respect to the brother Gizmo for the donations to the channel via the Cash App. And I see a note, and I will do, man. Will do. We'll continue to do so. I also want to give a shout out to the brother JJ Phantom for the donation to the channel via the Cash App, and much respect for once again showing love to this channel. I really appreciate you guys' support. So it's a question I got, man, and it's NBA Finals or Olympics. What's the higher level to me? And I want you guys to give me your opinions on this as well. I'm assuming he means Olympic gold. And look, no doubt about it, NBA championship is the ultimate goal for an NBA player during an NBA season. And I think realistically, any NBA player can maneuver himself into a situation where he has a chance to win a championship. I hesitate to say ring chasing, but any NBA player, even a marginal one, can sign with a team, especially if his skills help to fill or further improve upon something the team needs. They can possibly win a championship, right? But not just anybody can win Olympic gold. Steve Kerr, Robert Horry, Will Perdue, even Horace Grant, even though he's higher to me as far as a player than they are. All these players have won multiple championships. Multiple championships. But they'll never have an opportunity to be in the Olympics because they're not Olympian level talent. So there's already only a select few that can be Olympians. And then the further challenge when you're an Olympian, the further challenge, in my opinion, is to then try to gel your game with other great players and to then change your mindset from competing against these players you're used to competing with to now suddenly playing with these players. And then, like I said, in a relatively short period of time, you have to try to figure out how to play with these guys and make it work. You may be used or accustomed to being a superstar on your team. You may be accustomed to taking 20, 25 shots a night. You may be accustomed to being the man. But to make this work, if you're playing with a player that's even greater than yourself, you may have to adjust to being in a somewhat subdued or even almost role playerish type position. So you have a clash of egos. That's probably one of the main problems with Olympians. These egos clashing against one another. Especially if one guy feels he's better than the other one, but the coach wants him to defer to this player. So naturally, the competition comes into place, and you want to prove that you're better than this player. But coaching staff ultimately sees that for the whole mechanism, the team to work, you have to assume a certain role. And that can be very challenging with great players. Role players are used to being role players. Great players are not accustomed to being role players. That's one of the issues right now, subject a little bit, that people worry about with Chris Paul. Then you're competing against other Olympians. And this doesn't happen every year. The Olympics only occur every 4 years. Now, you do have the FIBA championships, but I'm talking about the Olympics in this particular video. It only happens every 4 years. And you're competing against the world's best players. And it's not automatic anymore. You know, you could argue when pros were first allowed to play in the Olympics 30 years ago, the first decade it was pretty easy. But the rest of the world is caught up with the NBA. And in the Olympics, you can't just go through the motions like the Harlem Globetrotters anymore. You got to really put out an effort and play at a high level to beat these other great talents. So, yeah. For instance, I'll put the Redeem team up against any NBA team as far as what they were able to accomplish. They redeemed themselves from the terrible showing from 2004. And for the Redeem team to recapture that gold, I think sometimes too, as I'm going through this video, I think sometimes if you're not a patriotic person, or if you're not really pushing for Team USA, I get all of the historical things that can cause some of us to feel a certain type of way. But when it comes to competing against other teams, it's also a patriotism or a patriotic angle on it. You know what I mean? To root for your team, to root for the players in the league that we still think of as the best league in the NBA. I mean, the best league in the world. But that's a whole nother thing. So just to have our Americans winning Olympics is a representation of the NBA in itself as a whole. So to me, as great as an honor is to win a championship, I agree with Michael Jordan, because I saw this article recently. It may have been some comments he said before where he looked at the Olympic gold as being even more valuable than winning a championship. So I can see that. You know what I mean? And I agree with that. I think winning an Olympic gold is a greater honor. It's rarer. It only happens for most players 2-3 times. That's at the most as far as opportunities. And to play for your country is a prestigious honor in itself. So I would rank winning an Olympic gold medal in basketball as a greater honor than even winning a championship. To me, you're standing on top of the world stage. The world stage, one of the most watched events in history, and you're not just representing an organization. You're not just representing the NBA. You're representing America. So to me, I don't think it's really any contest. The winning Olympic gold is more meaningful to me. But anyway, tell me what you guys think. And I respect your opinion. I'm not going to sit up there and say you stupid because you disagree with me. You know what I mean? Unless it's a stupid ass fucking answer. Look, we all sometimes say, man, what the fuck is this guy thinking? But I mean, with something like this, people can have a different perspective. They can explain it. And if they explain themselves, then I'm saying, okay, well, I understand where you're coming from. But when people just say dumb shit and they can't really back it up, then yeah, you say like, what the fuck are you talking about? But anyway, tell me what you guys think.